Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Lens, where we speak to the fighters taking part in CSL 007 on what is going to be an absolutely crazy event. And of course, we have the big one. We have probably the biggest fight on the card in terms of grudge match, the potential for it to spill over, etc. And without further ado, let me introduce you to one half of that fight. That is James Wheatley. How are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Down the gym as always.
Of course. I was going to say the background. Are you in the gym? Like, where are you right now?
I'm always in the gym. I live in the gym. I work in the gym. I train in the gym. I spend more time in the gym than I do at home. So
It sounds like you're very game. So let's get straight into it. How has fight training camp been for you in the build up to this huge fight come October the 14th?
that's been good. Just like normal, really. I haven't really changed anything that I'm doing. Just sharpening the tools and forming the game plan. So yeah.
Mhm. Of course, for people that don't know, you are 2-0. This will be your third fight.
Uh,
How has it been compared to your previous two fights? Has the nerves been different? Have you been doing anything different really going into this fight?
not really. I have had 3 fights. I lost my second fight on points
Okay.
back on a white collar show a couple of years ago now, I think it was. Um, sorry, what was the question? Have I changed anything that I'm
Yeah,
doing?
have you changed anything? Because obviously there's a lot going into this fight. I mean, we're going to get into that later, but there is a lot obviously riding on this fight as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I wouldn't say I've changed anything at all. I think from my very first fight I had going back 4 years ago, wasn't really how I wanted to box, even though I got the win. Second fight, I thought I'd tone it down a little bit on the power front and try and box, and didn't really work out in my favour on the night. Come up against a shorter guy and found out short guys are quite hard to fight.
Hmm.
Um, so third fight went in with a bit of a different mindset. Just stick to what I'm used to, stick to what I'm good at, and yeah, didn't really get hit. Come back with a second round knockout, so
Of
good.
course, of course. I mean, looking forward to October the 14th. I mean, let's get straight into it with that as well. Your opponent, Pilot. I mean, in the description, it talks a grudge match. There's a lot of back and forth between you two.
Yeah.
Where did this sort of start, this animosity between you two? Do you think it's one sided, or has it kind of just started and then it just spiraled?
No, I'll hold my head up and say, to be fair, it probably me that started it. Ali approached me and said, "Look, I want you to call this guy
Mm,
out. Here's his footage." I said, "Okay, well, I'll take the fight, and then I'll do the other work in the meantime." And obviously, we've had a bit of back and forth, but it is what it is. I think his inexperience has just shown through quite a bit. There are things a lot of people turn around and say, "Oh, I'm not taking that personally. I'm not going to let it affect me." But I have let it affect me. I have
mm.
taken it personally, but I've let it affect me in the right ways, in the appropriate ways to deal with it. So yeah, the more fuel, the more fire, and bring the fire because I love it.
Of course. I mean, you're speaking about bringing the fire, stepping into the inferno. Come fight now. Are you looking to stand in the middle of the ring? Or, I mean, without giving too many tactics away, because obviously we're 3 weeks out, but what are you looking to do come October the 14th? Are you there looking to stand and trade, or you're looking there to pick him off, sort of thing?
I don't know. It's a hard one to gauge because my preferred sort of style of fighting is to hit and not get hit and then crack a nice hard punch on the chin when I see the opportunity. But I'm also a very aggressive guy as well. So if it goes toe to toe, it goes toe to toe. I don't know if he brings out a bit of a dog in me, then it is what it is. I don't really see any issues either way it goes. To be quite honest,
Mhm.
I'd be more comfortable fighting how I usually fight. But I suppose it would give the fans a bit of excitement as well if I do go on that front foot a bit more, which I do anyway. I tend to float in and out, and I just nobody likes getting hit. Let's try not to get hit and crack him on the chin whenever I see it. So
Of course, of course. I mean, what James just said there as well is like the art of boxing. The art is to get hit and not get hit. One of the best ever fighters of all time, Floyd Mayweather, that was what he was good at. And obviously, if James is looking to do that, that will be a win, I think, in his books. To be honest with you, if he managed to pull off that game plan. But looking more to the future as well. And I mean, I know you don't really want to underestimate October the 14th and Pilot. But are there any future plans for you this year or even going into next year as well in terms of going out back into the ring?
Yeah, definitely. I've got another fight lined up 4 weeks after this. So being well, we'll go into that. That's a title eliminator show over in Dudley. So when I win that one, obviously move on to the title fight next year in March. So things starting to piece up, but I'm not trying to rush the process. I've only got a couple of fights under my belt at the moment. Due to COVID and stuff like that, things have been a bit delayed. I've started up a coaching business, stuff like that. So my own boxing has been put on the back burner a little bit for the past couple of years, and but I've spent thousands and thousands of hours in the gym. I've sparred all types of different lads. I've trained amateur, I've fought amateur, so I'm not worried about my capabilities or anything like that. It's just read the book and then close the book when the time's finished. That's literally it. I've got 6 minutes to find his chin, and when I do, it's lights up. That's the only way I see this fight. I've got 6 minutes to hunt down that chin.
Of course, I mean, James is talking about a book, and this is definitely going to be an interesting chapter in James Wheatley's book because a lot is going to happen on October the 14th. But without kind of like making too much about it, because I know, it's not too far to go. You kind of want to leave, you're talking kind of in the ring and everything that happens in the ring. But have you got a sort of final message for Pilot before October the 14th?
No, not really. You know what you said, and I'm fairly confident you probably regret saying it, and I'll make you regret saying it. That's it.
That's it. And finally, do you have any messages for your fans, supporters, all that sort of good stuff?
Yeah, obviously, I love you all, everybody down the gym. We've just come out from a big first home show ourselves, a lot of success coming from the red corner, so big up you guys. Um, yeah, everybody that's going to turn up, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people there. Obviously, we've got 4 fighters coming out of our gym on this same show, Perry, Bobby and Kyle, which are all game, all on big things. So, yeah, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people there to support me and the rest of the lads. And so I don't really see a way I can lose.
Of course, of course. And just one final thing as well. I mean, you want to touch up on it quickly. I mean, you mentioned your coaching business as well. Do you want to quickly give a little shout out to that as well and what you kind of
I,
do and offer?
yeah, so I started up Punch Perfect Coaching, which has been doing really well over the past 6 months or so, to the point where I've sort of managed to give up my old full-time job and just focus on what I want to do. So yeah, that's doing bits. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Joe, doing things over at his New Levels barbershop as well. I know it's been tough for you, but pushing through, and we'll get you back in the gym soon as well. So yeah.
That's what we love to hear. Hear people winning, hear people having success. And obviously, congrats to you, James, for, pursuing what you want to do full time. Because that's the one thing that I always say to a lot of people. If there's a passion that you have to do, go pursue it. And you're clearly doing that. So hopefully.
But coaching is, I think, where my brain is, and a lot of people saying to me that's what's basically going to win you the fight is your mental side of things. Without tooting my own horn, but I'm really smart when it comes to boxing, and I know how to work my way around different things. So yeah, hopefully it'll come through on the night.
Of course. And on the night, October the 14th, you don't want to miss it. Make sure to reach out to James, myself, or Combat Sports League for any tickets. There aren't many tickets to go, but you want to be there because Wheatley is looking to put Pilot into flight mode because it is going to be an absolute barnstormer come October the 14th. You don't want to miss it. We don't want to miss it. James will be there, and we can't wait for an absolute special night of boxing. But for today, that is all. We'll be live again very, very soon. But until next time, goodbye, people.